good. Oh, my Earth Spirit's so good. And let me tell you, Earth Spirit's a bad hero right now because I can't make it work. You know?
Why am I talking to SVG all of a sudden? That's so weird. I could have sworn SVG just started talking to me.
Anyway, this draft coming out here, not the best coming out from Meteor. No, I mean, Meteor's draft can kind of work, but I'm not a big believer in the tiny support. We've seen it before. I think one thing that I will caveat for LBZS winning this, they can't play like they did in Game 2. They absolutely cannot take a 3K lead at 5 minutes, 6K lead at 10 to 12, and then just do nothing with it. This is not a draft that will reward you for playing too passively. Like, yes, you've got Doom, yes, you've got SF, but you have this Leshrac that wants to take that early activity, wants the Bloodstones up. You cannot sit around on that here, Mike.
No, you certainly can't. I mean, this game should be easy, I feel like, because last game around, like, the TA just got to level 25, had a billion refraction charges, and you just couldn't burn through them. This time around, you don't have such a hard counter towards the SF, I'd argue, so... I mean, the irony is, even if you did have the TA, you had a Leshrac against you this time around, but, you know, no TA. That's fine. Bounty Rune-wise, it's going to be a 2-for-2 trade. Very even start between these two teams. Of course, last game around... I suppose one of the big factors as well, which is something we haven't talked about, is TZY was playing off-lane Marcy. This time he's playing position 3 Doom, which I'd argue is somewhat more impactful, right? Because the Marcy's just so hit and miss. It's either it does extremely well or it does nothing.
Yeah, but I don't know if it was really the Marcy's fault last game, just because they literally did not play aggressive for the most part in LBZS, except for clumping down bot and away from the TA when it was vulnerable. So... maybe it's just more of a team decision, and hopefully, again, they play to the strengths of this Doom. In lane, it's kind of alright. It's pretty passive. You're just going to be farming up against the NP for the most part. You do cut the tree line, so again, TZ's not going to have that easy angle to just lay in some hits, play with the minus armor you're getting from the Blightstone early on from his NP. At the same time, you're not really gunning for a kill opportunity up here top, so... gonna be a static farmy lane, and as long as TZY hits his Midas timing, you're pretty happy about that.
Certainly so. Of course, that mid lane, Dolphin gonna be against Blessing. The Leshrac versus Pango matchup. It should favor the Leshrac, but I suppose kill potential isn't as high because you do have the Swashbuckle to walk away from those kind of little engagement the Lesh can go for. And meanwhile, down a bot lane, Mar Blue's going for a very long pull on the Tiny. Finds the Courier with the tree toss. Very impressive there from Mar Blue. I'll give him that. That was the bottle gone as well. That's massive for the Tiny. And he's just going to pull this creep wave and go for a double.
Yeah, no one's stopping him. Like, you don't really... I mean, you could run up with Guo. He does have a creep wave. He's dragged into the tower, but he's not really dragging to meet the Tiny. And Marblu's going to get a lot of EXP out here. This is one way to enable that pause for Tiny. Just play a lot greedier, soak up as much as you can. You've got the DP. It can kind of hold solo. There's not much kill threat out from the SF when the Clockwork's kind of far away from that action. So you just build up, soak up, and avoid that kill lane, which we did see come out early on. For LBZS, they did have a lot of kills coming out there.
Uh-oh, Molasses, he's been given the creep wave, but it may cost him his own life. Let's get out of the cogs just barely. And we'll survive, and like you mentioned, a lot of XP to come the way of this dire side down to the bot lane as he finds another courier. Just these tree tosses. That's the second courier already that you've found here for Mar Blue.
Yeah, he's more than happy. He's getting his impact out. He's being a nuisance in lane. He's giving solo EXP out to Molasses. Level 3 now in the DP. So you've got the level 2 Spirit Siphon ready. If you had to toss back, could be a kill threat, but gets run down a little bit.
Looking back at the mid lane for a moment, there is a courier backup now for Dolphin, so he's going to be able to get that bottle, wand, or rather stick, and the brown boots. So, you know, while I think there was a bit of slowing down here for Dolphin, looks like he's still been able to maintain his CS just fine. Does have those items up that he was lacking just a moment ago. Still a fantastic play from our Tiny. Can't take that away from him, but it doesn't seem like Blessings had, you know, the highest impact due to that play, sadly. I suppose it is still a Pango into a Leshrac, so you can't do too much about it. Dolphin can just be ultra aggressive here.
Yeah, it's still a really rough lane for Blessing. You're just going to have to cop the hits, try to get as much aggression as you can, trading hits with a swash, and farm. You're not going to be on top of that Lesh anytime soon. The good news for Meteor, though, is Lane is looking pretty tasty. Like, again, your NP is not being zoned out. He has a lot of good damage to lay onto TZY. There's not much TZY and Helios can really do to stop that. And you're just farming. You know, your NP is going to hit its own Midas timing rather quickly, and you can just go all over the map from there. Connect with your DP, connect with your Pangolier when it's ready to roll around, and you have that mid-game momentum that we saw Meteor play around with so well in Game 2. Could kick in here again if they don't keep that in check.
Midas gaming again, huh? You ever feel like Midas should just be deleted? Like as an item?
No.
Like,
for the sake of
speed,
like no.
No.
He loves
Poor old speed.
I love speed, so I'm going to let him keep the Midas. What don't you like about Midas, Mike? What about this frustrates you, Mike?
I mean, it's literally just an item that allows you to farm more gold. Like, it's... You know, it's one of those items where it's like, what does it actually do for the game?
Well...
You know?
If you're winning, you win more. If you're losing, you can try to win, right? Like, that's kind of the mindset, although a Midas from behind is actually really bad.
I could say that for any item, though, John. You know? If you're winning and you buy a Maelstrom, you're going to be winning even more.
Yeah, but you're not going to be winning more than you were in terms of pure farming compared to the Midas, I guess. Maybe. Honestly, early Maelstrom is probably better for your farm. Overall, it does take some time for the Midas kick in. I mean, it's really good on EXP-dependent heroes. Like, Nature's Prophet does want levels up fast, so it's pretty useful for him to rush into his talent spikes, get that pressure across the map. Same thing for Doom. You just kind of get your levels and farm. You know, it's good for these heroes that just want to chill back.
Bottom lane, bit of aggression here onto our clock, but he's going to be just fine. Meanwhile, mid lane, Blessing going to be chased down by Dolphin. Dolphin's not going to try for a split earth, just going to chase him down for a bit of harass. Obviously, he wants to zone him out as well for that 6-minute power rune, and he's going to find a very nice regen for himself on the Lesh rack. You couldn't really ask for much more as the Lesh. In fact, rotations, that's what you could ask for, and he's got them here from Helios. Blessing, going to be able to swash away, Rolling Thunder going, and it's going to be barely enough. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Molasses is the one who secures first blood. Is able to take down the Clockwork eventually. Really sad for LBZS as they were just basically one right click away from securing first blood themselves onto the Penguin.
Yeah, great little roll. Give you that spell immunity to bail out, but it leaves an opening in mid. You've got the level 2 Diabolic Edict, make short work of the objective. Mass TPs to stop this, but Tower's just a bit of a breeze away from dying. They do hold on to it for a moment. Frees up the side lanes in a big way, though. Fonte is going to be a lot comfier farming, knowing that the DP is not going to have follow-through. And the Doom's also pretty happy knowing there's no threat on his life.
TZ going to get chased down here by Dolphin, and TZ's gone. Not much in terms of surviving that output. Go down. It seems like Dolphin's actually going to rotate up top, perhaps. See if he wants to go for it. Like, I mean, he could rotate into the Nature's Prophet into the tier 1 tower. Not the worst idea in the world.
And they've got the net ready for some hold set up. It's the one thing you don't really have the setup, but he TP's out. Like, he walked under creep vision. So just bails out. And he walked under the ward. And Dolphin is just kind of... He's going to have to just settle for the push. Not the biggest tower to take up top, but they'll open up the jungle. Allow some avenues to farm for TZY and for Fonte. And doesn't take too long when you drag your 3 cores for this push.
No. On that living armor, it's going to do a little bit, but the Diabolic Edict just going to get through it. No problems here for the Leshrac. Though there is still going to be TZ around, but it seems like they're just fully committed for this. They're not going to back off. TZ has revealed that he's around the area, but they're just not going to waste any time. Meanwhile, bottom lane, you are going to lose our clock. But there was a bit of a dive past the tier 1 tower, and they're pretty much going to go for the exact same play. Meanwhile, mid lane, they are still trying to chase down this Pangolier, but Blessing is going to be able to get the Rolling Thunder off, but does not get to connect with Dolphin. He'll try at least for the Invis rune, and actually gets away with it. Helios, a little bit too late to the party now, is going to end up giving his life away for that.
Yeah, just hesitated a little bit in trying to deny that off. Maybe they're looking for the top up on Dolphin. Doesn't quite happen. They find 2 support kills for themselves. Freebies coming up for Meteor. They're starting to clump around mid with no roll though. It's a bit dangerous. But
Exorcism, that'll do the trick. Avalanche is there. Clock again going to be in trouble, and he's going to run, but Molasses should be able to cut him off. Ghost is still chasing. With the Swashbuckle, they'll have enough. And Dolphin, well, Dolphin, he's the big target. That's the one you really want on this Leshrac, and he is going to melt. Helios being chased down as well. LBZS are falling apart in this mid lane. Molasses on the DP with the perfect rotation. Now going to enable them to go after this tier 1 mid tower.
they've got the space out, they've got the damage. Exo is going to fade, but around does have good right clicks to contribute and a little bit of minus armor with the Blightstone. So they can still attempt this push. Outside of LBZS, I mean, we're seeing a bit of the same pattern from Game 2. They are wanting to farm on their SF and on their Doom, and even their Lesh. You know, even Dolphin wants that build up into the Bloodstone first, so it's a little bit awkward to take these.
Oh no, Dolphin. I mean, you lost the tier 1 anyway, and he's just dead. That's really rough now. Meteor Gaming finding a secondary kill on Dolphin just as he TPs. You kind of ask yourself, like, what was the intention there? Like, is the deny of the tower really worth it? I don't think so. Bottom lane.
No.
Easy Y now going to get spotted out. Sprout is up and available. He'll try for a TP play out, and he's barely going to make it. Just barely.
Yeah. Failed out in the nick of time. You don't want these farming heroes to die. You're actually a little bit happier that Dolphin's copying all the attention. It is coming at a cost. Like, the power spike of the Lesh is going to be held back. It's only really 3 heroes ready to play right now from LBZS. It's our Leshrac, our Rubik, and our Clock. Our SF is not going to contribute. Fonte just wants his build up into Mask of Madness. And you still need a Midas to come out from TZY, so a more passive game. A passive game that Meteor are able to use against the side of LBZS. For LBZS, and again, it's not the worst thing in the world at this moment. They are 3K behind, but their lineup does take a little bit more time to come online. It's just, we have to see them understand, recognize, and play around their power spike. If they don't this game, it's going to be pretty similar to Game 2, not going to lie. If they just play passive all game like this, then, well, Meteor should be able to run you down if you don't find that timing by 15 to 25 here.
The growth 2 minute top lane is going to be stolen by Helios, and that's going to buy him a bit of space to try and run for it, but actually the Nature's Grasp is going to catch him, though seems like he's had enough. He'll just send the tree into him. That's a very nice body block. He literally just walks away, but the thing is, if he was still here, well, it won't matter. He's blocked him off completely. He's like, doesn't have the time for this. He'll just run back towards the jungle. Well, why not?
Yeah, you have better things to do. I mean, just watching this puny Rubik fall and get that build up you want on the SF, on the Nature's Prophet. And I mean, the side of Meteor, and they're just able to do so much more with their lineup right now. They can take so much more activity. The key timing now for LBZS is like a BKB blink on TZY, the Bloodstone, and maybe a BKB out for Dolphin. And if you can hit that tempo, and that's when Meteor can get shoved back a bit. But I say that, you know, you've got the Midas and Maelstrom on. He's just farming bigly here. Again, he was winning with Midas. He's winning even more with a Maelstrom now. It's all winning, Mike.
That it is. Everything working out quite fine here for Meteor Gaming. It feels almost like a repeat of Game 1, or rather for Game 2 for LBZS. But Fonte is still hitting creeps, still having a great old time, but nothing's coming out of this. It's just gold coming into the SF. Maybe just because they're not against the TA later, they think they're going to have enough. Clockwork. Scouted. Swashbuckle will connect, but they won't try to make a play. They know the SF's around. Rocket Flare to give some vision onto Blessing. Now still patiently trying to use Fonte as bait for someone to try and move in. But it seems like nothing's going to come out of it. Just Fonte just hitting creeps.
Yeah. Just kind of poking and prodding at each other. I do feel like you did want to commit here from Meteor. Just one additional hero could probably help you net these kills. But the side of LBZS are playing a lot more cautiously as well. And besides, you're just farming. You're farming and They're farming quite decently on Blessing. The Diffusal Blade not too far away now. Even a 4-staff for Molasses. He has the full Guardian Greaves up. Very durable up front. They're kind of ready to go if they want to make a play.
GY, bottom lane. I mean, they popped the EXO for this, but he's right by the T2 tower. He's literally right next to it. So EXO, I mean, it's going to be a bit of a farming EXO, I guess. We'll just still Crypt Swarm away. Very nice on the Rubik. But yeah, farming Exorcism is here for Molasses. Wishful thinking if you thought he was going to get away with that kill, I think. Worth a shot, I suppose.
The Doom is still fairly durable. Yeah, you want something right now. Even if you're ahead, you kind of feel like maybe you want to get some action down, try to pressure the tier 2. Helios.
Vision, so Blessing with a haste rune. More than happy to keep chasing him down as well. TZ goes down on the other side of the map. Rubik still caught but still alive. Rolling Thunder going to be forced to take this. I mean, why the hell not? Meanwhile, bottom side, looks like they do end up finding TZY, but he just TPs again. Nothing to cancel.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
You're not going to have a great cancel for that either until, say, this full Gleipnir and or, you know, just getting that level 20 talent with the leash. You could at least interrupt there. So, just not the biggest loss in the world. You do still want to try to find some punishment onto TZY. The Atos could help in that cause. But the side of LBZS, they've got the Bloodstone and Dolphin. They're already smoked up. This is what we need to see from LBZS. Play with his time.
Doom's out. They've got the Pango with that Doom. Dolphin's trying to catch up to the Pangolier. Should be able to get there rather soon, as now they have the setup with the Infernal Blade, and well, that's just going to be Blessing gone. Pretty big pick up there for TZY. Mid, rather top lane, however. TZY, rather TC, ends up going down. Requiem will be forced, and that'll be the TP up for SF. So they don't lose too much. 2 for nothing. 16 minutes in almost. Meteor Gaming, an incredibly good start, but slowly kind of allowing it to go back the way of LBZS.
Yeah, just getting the farm game going, right? Like they're waiting for to be maybe ready to jump into these team fights to commit with the full Gleipnir up. BKB is being worked on as well. They are not really playing around Blessing all too much. I feel like the clump up has to start coming out now from Meteor's end, as this is kind of their window where they're strong. They can try to take a team fight into EXO onto an objective, run from there. But LBZS have been pretty good in just forcing attention elsewhere. They have been stalling quite nicely, or at least, you know, preventing that build-up quite nicely here. So Fonte.
Leipnir out of the SF. They'll lock him down. Sprout is there as well. He's actually got no Quelling Blade available, but barely trying to run, but Fonte's down. Mar Blue now to be chased. Tossed up. We'll get to work onto Helios. Find another. It's one of those things, even as an SF, he has a Quelling Blade now, so he ends up dying and just buying one out.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Or was it just missing? I'm not sure.
Realizes mistake.
Yeah.
Dire's bottom tower.
No, it wasn't missing.
Either
I mean,
way.
I was 100% sure he didn't have one.
Yeah, then he bought one, realizes his mistake. And he could go for a Hurricane Park, which isn't too bad, but you don't want to kind of get that early on for the SF. He's forced to just find his own way out. And Meteor, and they're playing around their own spike well. We talked about the timings here for LBZS. The Bloodstone's one key thing from Dolphin, but you need the BKB up on TZY as well. And you're tied into the Doom cooldown much more. So your uptime for aggression LBZS is a lot lower. Your uptime for Meteor is a lot higher. Fonte.
Can't really afford to keep dying like this on the SF, but the toss back was pretty far forward. So, I mean, they should still have it. Gleipnir is out, Grasp is there, Fonte's going to try and man up, but the Overgrowth will hold him down. And eventually, it will work. Double kill once again going the way of Meteor Gaming. Yeah, the toss back was a little bit awkward at the start, but he makes sense back towards that tier 1 tower of the Dire. 3k advantage now for Meteor Gaming. Everything really going their way, and for now the SF just, it doesn't feel like it's going to have any impact.
Yeah, it's, again, kind of similar to
Radiant's
game number
tower
2.
is under attack.
When Fonte is farming well, although not as well as he was in game 2, he just kind of evened out with basically almost every other core except the NP. You need to see this investment pay off. Like, say, BKB timing comes out, something has to happen. Like, even without anything else, just BKB Massive Mantis, you've got to use that physical output you have on this hero and run forward. Like, Dolphin, he's had a Bloodstone, he has the Yules up now. He's being scouted around by here. Doesn't quite go for anything silly with a Gleipnir play, but he's also had his spike right now on that Lesh. And we've seen him make some plays on the map, but he's back to just farming bot, as we saw in game 2. Does feel like the Leshrax's a better hero to scale up on, but you would want some more activity here.
That's a nice catch. They've got the Pango for now. He does have Swash, but not going to be able to get it off in time. So Doom will lock him down. In comes the cavalry to try and help out, but they may have gone a bit too far this time around. The pig out will be there to try and allow the Prophet out of there, and Mar Blue is going to move in along with Molasses. They'll try onto Helios and TZY, but Fonte is more than happy to keep the fight going. A nice cogs out as well to lock down the DP. As Mar Blue will drop, Molasses is still trying to move forward. Overgrowth to also lock down the Leshrax, so Dolphin now has the one that's overextended. The Split Earth will not land and he will go down. Towards the south, it looks like there was a bit of a chase happening here from but it will not pan out. Regardless, it started off really strong for LBZS, but ends up quite poorly.
They lose their Lesh, the one hero that feels like it's kind of setting the tempo for them right now. With that out of the picture, with the Doom committed, you've got an angle back in for Meteor in that engagement. They find a nice Arcane Rune as well. So more uptime here for Blessing. And for LBZS, I don't know, it feels like we're just seeing a repeat of game 2 where they're sitting back. This time around, though, they did not have the lead. So it's fair enough to say that, all right, they're not in the lead. They have to play a little bit safer. All right, fair enough. Keep farming up. And you just hit these timings. So with the BKB Blink ready on TZY, you see them constantly play around that Blink, play around the Doom, look for some targets to go for. But you're starting to build up quite nicely here on Meteor as well. I mean, BKB on Fonte at least has an early BKB. Now we need these 3 cores to connect. We have to see them play with these strengths here, Mike, on LBZS. Otherwise, I wouldn't be surprised if Meteor just does what they did in game 2. Just repeat whatever they did there and just kind of ride this game out.
Yeah. I mean, that might just be the play, honestly. Like, you've got a Prophet on your end of things. You're more than happy to drag the game out as long as humanly possible. There's going to be a smoke. Lines drawn out through the mid lane. They want to go past that tier 1 tower, apparently, and try to find somebody in the dire jungle. Problem is, they might find Mar Blue before Blessing. It looks like they will. They'll try to make the jump in on the Tiny. Blessing is around with the rocket, rather the Rolling Thunder, but he won't throw it out. So Mar Blue will drop. They even found another now. This is a much bigger one. Molasses, he's a great target. He'll go for the Spirit Siphon, but the Rolling Thunder from Blessing is going to allow them to run out. But it does give an opening. The LBZS to finish off that mid-tier 1 tower. And that they will. Even with the living armor, they'll get through.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
And that allows them to immediately pivot towards that Roshan. First of the game. Yeah, they're playing around. Their timing's a lot better here now on LBZS. Huh?
They get a Doom off onto the Prophet. He got his BKB in time, but the chase is on. He does need some help to finish off the Prophet, though. Mar Blue is going to be around. TZ there to help as well, and it seems like TZY is the one that may have overextended. The Doom will wear off. Do they want to keep the fight going? It seems like they do. Overgrowth is there. Lock a couple down, and eventually this Doom is set to fall and will to Molasses. And so will the Rubik. No escape. He will drop. Helios is gone. And it was a nice start. Like, he found the Prophet. He makes the jump in, but the problem is the BKB came off too quickly. And after that, like, you get the Doom off, but you've got 0 follow-up to it.
Yeah, you can't really melt him down. The rest of your team was in Roshan as well. For LBZS, Fonte does pick up the Aegis, but that one felt a little bit disconnected. I'm just a bit too confident in trying to go for the solo Prophet pickoff. Does cost him in the end.
3-man stunned by the neutral creep right there. Just probably the biggest play of this game so far, I'll tell you, John. Meteor Gaming getting completely trapped up there by our neutral.
Damn, he's gonna be MVP for sure. Right?
Oh, I hope so. I hope so.
Side of LBZS. The question now here, Mike, is whether or not they can make something happen with his Aegis. Like, they've got to get something on the map, you know? Clear out the top tier 2, take over the top jungle, cut off a little bit of the farm that they're kind of really amassing quite ridiculously fast with the and just take control of a part of the map for themselves now and just feel comfy in it. You've got to see that come out from LBZS. It can't just be this farm PS stuff. They've got to connect somehow. But right now, not quite connecting. You know, Dolphin's kind of just being eyed down here on mid.
I mean, the thing is, they've got nobody close to the net worth of our Prophet. Like, he's freely farming his way to a Daedalus now. He's almost 6k ahead of the Leshrac, who's second in net worth. I mean, everyone else on LBZS is quite strong. Like, they're all second, third, and fourth in terms of the net worth graph. But the Prophet's the main problem. It's just a matter of can they catch him as 5 and take him out. Blessing's going to be scattered out in the tree line. We'll go for the roll-up, but doesn't have Rolling Thunder. Instead, we'll just blink, hook shots off the mark. That's a hard one to land, to be fair. And LBZS are actually allowed to get away with this top tier 2, but now they're going to rotate and try to force the fight. But no, they have to cancel those TPs because they kind of rotated outside of the tree line. Uh-oh.
They still have the Exo to play with for this push here.
Yeah, there's no TPs until they're heroes. So they know they can go for this, and they have to run back the old-fashioned way. Who's got a TP? 1, 2, 3. Oh, none of them have got TPs. Apart from Fonte, literally all other players do not have TPs available. They all have to run through the mid lane. This mid tier 3 tower is actually just gone. Do they want to keep going? Fonte's been caught up by the Glaive. He pops his BKB, but he's down. Oh no. He has the Aegis at least, but no BKB to play with. Molasses, he will find the clock. Here comes the Rolling Thunder from Helios. Maybe they can at least find the DP. They got the Tiny. They'll catch Molasses. They give up a tier 3 tower for this. They give up the Aegis, but I mean, you got a decent fight going your way as LBZS. That's something.
Yeah, you got some big kills, massive streak on Molasses to take out there, and you hold on to the rack. So you hold on to the important objective, not the biggest deal. For LBZS, they're going to have to keep a steady eye on that bot lane. Otherwise, Aegis gets expended. They weren't really playing aggressive with it anyway. Let's be frank here. They go for the push, they go for the safe fights, but they're not in any risky position where it might be fun to...
Uh-oh. I mean, he's going in deep
All
by
by
himself. That's, yeah, really by himself. TZY is going to be there with the follow-up stuns. Marblue's going to try and help. 4 staff away, toss him out. Still trying to run. Dolphin's right behind him now. You've got TZ around the corner. Yule's up on the Prophet, and he's just dead.
Why?
That's the highest net worth of the map, and he's just dead. And he purposely TP'd in alone. So he didn't even get caught out. He just gifted them a life. Molasses? Molasses, he's worth a lot of gold right now. I mean, sure, he lost that streak earlier, but he's still worth a lot. Hookshot's off the mark, but what does it matter? Molasses is gone. TZ's gone. Marblu might be gone. What the hell's happening? Three down for the side of Meteor Gaming.
I don't know. There is no explanation for this. It's one of those moments in Dota where like, what just happened there? You know, why did this NP TP in to try to solo an SF?
Can I get a replay, please? I actually did not see the random TP in. I'm so confused as to why that happened.
He legitimately just TP'd on. There was no vision as well, outside of the creep wave. So he just TP'd in right by the tree line where the rest of LBZS was waiting.
Helios has got the Rolling Thunder. He'll just commit it and jump right in. Easy kill for him on the Rubik. Suddenly, you've given the net worth lead completely the way of LBZS. And they're thinking about high ground. I mean, they've got some quick high ground if they want it. No Diabolic Edict right now, but they are going to find the Pango. Doom is there, and he is just gone. Blessing. 4 staff away. They can deny him off, but nice hook shot. Nice hook shot to land from our clock, though he will die for this. But they are taking the tier 3 bottom tower. It is just melting. And this is without the Leshrac being involved. This is just Fonte. Jump in again. Here we go. They want to try and put a little in this game if they can, as TZ will go down now on the Treant. No more heals to come in for this bottom racks. And I can't believe I'm saying it, but LBZS are the ones to take the first racks of the game, it seems, as M's going to jump in. On the Prophet, on the Doom. Looks like TZY has gone down. Range racks to fall. Fonte going to turn around with the Requiem now backing onto the TB. Molasses trying to run is not going to make it out. Dolphin will have his number. So they get away with the range racks. That's going to be about it. But it's a hell of a lot more than they should have gotten away with 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, they make use of a big opportunity, and the side of Meteor Gaming just rush in one by one trying to bail out, but all off of one tiny overconfident play from And that just sets the tempo back LBZS's way. So that's a bit of a different one from game 2 at least. You know, Meteor just kind of getting too gun happy, gets punished. And now LBZS, well, we're at the point where your Doom is going to have Octarine sooner rather than later. The uptime on Doom just becomes a lot better. He's got the Quickening Charm on top of that. So a lot more activity for LBZS there. Fonte is much more willing to join these fights as well. With the BKB and the Silver Edge, he has nothing to be scared of. You know, it's not like you have to deal with a TA. You have the level 20 talent from but the leash doesn't do much when you've got a Quelling Blade and a path to walk out from. So you do have angles to kind of deal with it there. And eventually you're going to have that full Hurricane Pike up on Fonte anyway. The side of Meteor Gaming, I mean, they're not completely out of this game yet, but they do have to watch themselves when they play that aggressive. It's very easy to punish here from the side of LBZS this time.
7k advantage now for LBZS. It's been a hell of a series between these two. One racks up, I suppose. One range racks up here for LBZS. Roshan obviously going to be extremely important this game as well. Still 2 minutes away till we see that next Roshan respawn. This is all off the back of a random TP into the mid lane. Speaking of TPs, here we go again. Down the bot lane, they'll try onto Fonte. Lift is up immediately by Helios. TZ is there, does have overgrowth. Gleipnir does not connect. And with that, they are just out of it. And Meteor Gaming, had they found that kill, they might have been able to force high ground with that. There was no buyback available on Fonte. But with the backup of Helios, he's going to be just fine.
Yeah, would have been a big opportunity, but now Octarine up on TZY, along with that Quickening Charm, 98-second cooldown here, and they hook forward.
Nice cogs though, and Helios is in. They want the fight. They're going to try. Fonte, he's going to find Blessing on the Pango. Meanwhile, they've got the DP. Molasses is gone, and so is Mar Blue. It's what? TZ!
Ooh.
Blinking for what? What's happening? Well, it's always in the mid lane.
It's a bit disconnected. Yeah, it's a bit disconnected coming out from Meteor. LBZS onto the high ground they go. Not going to take too long with the talents they have on Fonte. You can't really do much about this if you're You can try to split push, I suppose, but only so much that can get you out here. And the side of LBZS, well, they could gun for the end game. Dolphins going for the tier 4, so trying to clear out the racks down bot as well. Nah, they're going to go for the Megas. Go for the safe play here. Not leave anything to chance.
I mean, they're literally being, like, they're stealing this game away. I mean, Meteor Gaming, it felt like they should just have this one in the bag. Kind of ridiculous game number 3 here, but LBZS obviously proving to be the better team as, well, that'll be the Mega Creeps incoming. Jump in, Mar Blue's been caught out now on the Tiny. Rolling Thunder again from Helios, proving to be very annoying. As Helios will pick up another kill on the Rubik now. And T4 Towers, I mean, they are exposed. Blessing is going to try to rush in to force a fight. TP's is incoming from him to try and join his team. Gleipnir is there. He is doing a lot of damage onto TZY. We'll force them back. Molasses, he'll chase down as well with the DP. Everyone's still fine as they are going to jump back in on this flash rack. Dolphin, though, he's a tanky boy. He'll just run away himself. They do silence him up, but he won't commit the Yules yet. Eventually does do so. Dolphin, still running, just can't be taken down right now. They'll turn back in onto Molasses, and he's down. Hook shot is there as well, right onto TZ. That's your tree and caught out, and he is just dead as Blessing. Oh, poor old Blessing. He is dead as well. LBZS. Now, in a 5v2 situation, only one buyback available for Blessing. And I do appreciate the fact that they've highlighted these hook shots, John. Much more accurate this game. You love to see it.
Yeah, they've
been good.
They played a lot better here. Yeah, they did good. They did good, and the side of Meteor, well, it all stems from one tiny mistake, right? Sometimes a game of Dota is dictated by those tiny mistakes. You give an opening, you had the lead, and it just goes your enemy's way. One small death like that, and it just comes tumbling down.
It certainly does, and I mean, I didn't even get to see it, John. I was kind of occupied on some.